Namaskar. Sorry to barge in. I'm sure you're all waiting for your hard-earned cup of tea, and not my fault. They insisted that since I have come, so I came on time, expecting. But I'm sure it was so interesting that the session has sort of taken over some more time than we expected. But they insisted that I should speak whatever I have. I don't know whether I'm going to add value to whatever the deliberation so far has been. I could just listen to a few points I think Sir made about Madhya Pradesh experience. I have been involved with National E-Governance Plan, and when CSE was being conceptualized, designed and floated, we used to have these innumerable discussions where we had naysayers who said, just won't work. We had very positive people, such as I would include myself, where we thought it's going to do wonders and it's going to transform governance the way the administrators understood in the traditional sense of the term, and how it's going to make disproved neither the naysayers nor the optimist like me. Very strangely, sir, because Mr. Tyagi and I used to have these discussions how it is going to pan out. I always used to think the CSE with private entrepreneurs coming in with a lot of enthusiasm, lot of professionalism, lot of understanding of how the market is actually going to capture this space to deliver services at the maximum volume that we have, that is the rural population, the bottom of the pyramid, if I may use the term, and we are going to capture that. Somewhere I think the disconnect between the vertical ministries, the domain ministries which were involved in delivering or creating content for those delivery of services, and on the other hand where we went gung-ho about putting in the infrastructure, getting the private operator to put in place the delivery technical mechanism, the platform to deliver. This disconnect hasn't bridged, and rather, I'm going to be a devil's advocate here because I think this is where I need to provoke some of you into saying that the disconnect has only grown. In the sense, whenever I go for any workshop, any interaction with any of my education stakeholders, I'm curious, so I ask, have you heard about CSEs? Do you use them to deliver services? And most of the cases, it is, to my disappointment, a statement like, CSEs kya hota hai? So even in UP, I don't know, I may be meeting the wrong people, but they are the people I meet with when I talk about education and the services. Especially now we have a mission mode project under school education, under the National E-Governance Plan, where we are looking at a sector which so far was very conservative in what education meant. Education meant core classroom transaction where you had a teacher who taught and a student who learned. It didn't look beyond that. It didn't look at education as a service. Now with the mission mode project under the governance plan, we are looking at, are you delivering services? Are you delivering services to other than the student in the classroom? The parents are your stakeholders, the community is your stakeholder, the school governance system is your stakeholder. Are you delivering services to them? Now when we are forcing them to the education stakeholders to look at not only the content, but beyond the content, beyond the world of content and the teacher and the student, beyond the classroom, we are realizing that we have not been exposed to any governance related initiatives, if at all, that have been taken, which means to me, the CSEs taking root and connecting with the ministries, with the vertical departments which were going to provide you with the wherewithal to deliver hasn't happened. I think that is somewhere we must not delay anymore. And so आप कह रहे थे कि education का और health का, it's a huge body that you have there. But I don't think the CSEs would have spoken to the state education secretaries. Rather, it would be the IT secretary that you would be speaking at. I'm talking on a very nitty-gritty level of how it actually pans out at a practical level. When you talk to the IT ministry of CSEs, then you are restricting the CSE, and the spirit of CSE, the service orientation that the CSEs bring, the market orientation that the CSCs bring, the service orientation that you bring in while delivering the domain ministry services, that doesn't happen. And we have been bereft of the kind of iterations and interactions that we can have. As an education ministry official, I don't have any interaction at the state level with any of my partners who are doing any work on the e-governance based on an IT enablement. I think that is where you need to look at how do you build those lateral bridges so that you deliver the services that you are looking at. And I'm just now coming from a meeting on National Optical Fiber Network, where again, we are looking at putting in connectivity parallel to the CSCs. Now again, you are looking at delivering services through another pipe, which I'm told is a broader pipe, more ज़्यादा पानी बह सकता है उसमें, वैसा वाला पाइप वो डाल रहे हैं. और उन्होंने मुझे बताया, when I said how is it different from SWAN and CSC, why can't I ride on that? They said that is 2 Mbps slimmer pipe and this is going to be a bigger pipe. Now as a domain minister, I'm totally confused. I just want to reach my student, my school, my parents, my community. So your person, be it the village level worker who is operating the CSCs, who's actually the face of the CSC, face of the government when a person comes for services. How is he able to proactively put across his value add? I have no doubt in my mind if a CSC operator is actually adding value to a villager. You and I need not sit here and deliberate how CSC is going to pan out, how can it actually capture the kind of market space that we aimed at, say, 4 or 5 years from now. That value add of the CSC operator will only come when he understands the services and its value that are being delivered. When you talk about education, sir, I almost hoped that there is no traditional teacher or education specialist sitting here. Because he said 3rd class का, 5वीं class का, 8वीं class का, हम लोग online delivery कर सकते हैं. Now this, since she was down the RT, the right to education people. Now the right to education says that it is an entitlement of a child to come in the school, be within the school premises, attend school, have a face-to-face interaction, have an interaction with his peer age group, and then study, at least up to the 8th. Now this appreciation needs to flow across your CSC people. When you sort of suddenly say that I can give a certification or a content for 3rd, 5th, 8th, you need to nuance it. Because then my education department is going to say, okay, that is anti-RT, we are not going to connect with you. We need to say, how do you align it with your user people? Your user ministries are us. The CSCs need to understand from us how to market a product, how to package a product. Now, what I would understand, which is workable from the statement that was made, that 3rd, 5th, 8th काम कर लेंगे, is where you're saying that you're going to add incrementally to whatever is happening in the classroom by way of a content provision, because IT to a great extent brings in the question of whether it is pedagogically possible for us in the IT ministry, in the education, to use IT as an enabler for core classroom transactions. Governance, yes. Service delivery to others, yes. But can I train my teachers? Can I train the teachers to operate on an IT platform to do the classroom transactions on an IT platform? These are the questions that harangue me every day when I sit. And if the value add from the CSC group at the state level, at the district level, at the national government level, can come on those requirements of mine, instead of saying, I have these services here, now do you want to take it? You need to tweak it and nuance it to the ministry's requirements. I think that is where you start. Please start a communication at the state level where because I just wanted to take 5-10 minutes and I'm going to just say what is it that is going to enable me to connect with you and use the platform, because I think it's a great idea, which if it is actually translated with the spirit with which it was created, will certainly paradigmatically shift The whole governance, transform it, add quality and transparency, which we oft used to say. Transparency is something which is, as of now, the most in demand. As an administrator, as a practitioner, as a teacher, every one of us would like to be very transparent, because the awareness level being what it is. There are questions on each and every minute as to how I spend it, within the classroom, outside the classroom, as an administrator. So IT usefulness, absolutely there. The CSC as a delivery platform is beyond question, but your connectivity and your understanding of the requirement of the ministries, of the sectors that you're speaking of, be it education. Higher education is a different ball game altogether, where you don't get into so much of pedagogy as you get into school education. And since I'm coming from school education, I would insist that without understanding the requirements of the sector, which is to a great extent conservative and very theoretical in what it needs to put in place there, one should keep in mind that you get the actual connectivity so that you can deliver. I heard a clap there, I'm not going to overstep. I would assume that it's a compliment to whatever I'm saying. Thank you so much.